Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Michael's Record Collection, where we talk about great music with the people who make it and the people who love it. I'm very honored to be joined by Jonas Lindberg of Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side. Jonas, thank you for your time.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me.
Got a new album coming out, Time Frames, on November 7th, the second album from Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side. I know you've recorded under your own name before,
Mm.
and I can't wait to get into that album with you a little bit. I've been enjoying it, but I'd like to start out by asking you what I always ask my guests, which is, what was your first favorite record?
Yeah, it's that's hard because when I started to listen to music, there were so many records that I liked, so I had many favorite records, but I think one that I always enjoyed that was in my dad's record collection was the Tripping the Live Fantastic with Paul McCartney.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
a great live album,
yeah. That was
and
an interesting one because he recorded that in various different cities. And
yeah.
I saw that tour in Cincinnati, and I think he used two songs from the Cincinnati show in his album. So,
Yeah.
uh, so you can't tell it's me, but I'm on that album somewhere
In the crowd
in the
noise.
crowd. That's right.
That's cool.
Jonas, do you come from a musical family? Because you play a lot of instruments, so I just wondered if there were always instruments around that you were picking up and trying out.
Yeah, we all both my parents played the fiddle and in folk music, so we had a lot of fiddles lying around, and even some guitars and a pump organ uh, that we could play on. So yeah, there were a lot of instruments, and very natural thing for me and my brother to just start playing.
How old were you when or did you take like formal lessons? And if so, how old were you when you did that?
I think. Well, the first thing I learned was the harmonica because my grandfather played harmonica and he taught me a little bit how to do that. And then I think I was 9 when we in Sweden we have this. It's called like School of Culture or Kulturskolan, where kids can come and play instruments, each week. And back then, the teacher came because we were living quite far from the city. So the teacher came there, and just everybody in class got to choose what they wanted to play. So I chose piano. So I started playing piano at the age of 9, and then never practiced that because I discovered the bass instead. So I got more interested in the bass, and luckily she saw that and steered me on to a bass teacher.
Hmm. Now, is this a regular bass guitar or an upright bass?
I started with the upright actually, so it's over there. It's not that one, but it.
Still
So
got
and,
one.
and then I moved on to I always wanted an electric bass, but we didn't have one. But we had an upright, so I started practicing on that.
What, how old were you when you started to get into progressive rock, and what was your introduction to that genre?
That was later, I think. I don't remember how old I was. I'm guessing in my teens somewhere.
Hmm.
Um, because we had a record store quite close to where we lived, and they in a basement, and they were only selling progressive rock, which was kind of he had this web shop called I think it was Missing Piece or something, and he sold all of this, Sparks Beard, Flower Kings, Liquid Tension Experiment. I discovered a lot of stuff there because we had a friend who came over, and he showed us the Liquid Tension Experiment album. And I was like, this is really cool. Where did you get that? And he was like, yeah, there's a basement in the in the next town. So we just went there, and as soon as I got my pocket money, we started to, which one can I buy this time?
Now,
So we
these would have been
discovered all of them.
CDs.
Yeah, there was CDs. It was I think that was late 90s, early 2000s somewhere.
Yeah.
So vinyl wasn't really a thing.
Yeah, that for a while it went away and it's back now and I'm very excited and you're gonna have
Yeah,
a vinyl release for this new album in the future. So
yeah,
you know, everything in life comes back around, I guess.
yeah.
It's interesting you say that because the a lot of the artists that I interview, they all have the same, you know, influences. They talk about Yes and Genesis and
Mm.
King Crimson and all this. And when I listened to your music with the other side, that was the thing that stuck out to me is that I hear those original influences, but what I'm hearing reminds me more of a cross between Spock's Beard, the Flower Kings, and Kaipa. And I wasn't sure if I was hearing influences from those bands or from the bands that influenced those bands. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's difficult to say because I never listened to that much to Yes or Genesis. I've started to listen a bit to Genesis now and things like that. But I listen to the Flower Kings and Spock's Beard and those bands that listen to those bands. So so it's kind of a third generation influence or something.
Yeah, and
Um,
I know Royna Stolt was on your first album with the other side.
yeah, that was actually the second album.
Second album, okay,
Yeah, we had an album out before that too, but a couple of years earlier.
okay. And now, how did you and Royna come across each other? Is it just a small progressive rock community over there?
Uh, no, uh, well, I've seen Flower Kings play a lot of times, but
Mm.
I never went to talk to him or anything like that back then. But the thing was that I had that solo on the Epic, and I thought that would be perfect for someone like Roy Stolt, and I really wanted to feature a big influence of mine. So I asked him I wrote to him on Facebook and asked him if he wanted to play, and that was that. And he accepted.
Just a
So I was
Facebook
very happy.
message.
Yeah.
That's great. I've had Royna on the show a couple of times. He's an interesting guy, fun guy to talk to. So I'm glad that it worked out for you. It must have been a big thrill for you. This is a guy who helped get you into progressive rock, and now he's on your record.
Yeah, exactly. So it was really cool to upload his the file he sent me into the song, and it's like, and now it sounds like almost like the Flower Kings. Like it's that guitar.
So I'm
So
guessing
that was
you
really
sent
cool.
him a demo, and then he just maybe did a couple of and sent them back to you.
Yeah, oh, no, he actually just sent me the one solo, but I I had already the song was recorded and I had already started mixing it.
Oh, really?
So I sent him the latest mix and he recorded on top of that.
What? I guess it's a good thing you liked it. You would have to. Hey, could you try that over again?
No, but he's one of these guitar players. He can't really go wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
He just plays something and it's like, yeah, that's great.
Tell me about the other side. You were recording under your own name, correct? And then you sort of put this band together, but you still do a lot of the instruments on the records.
Yeah, because it's sort of like it's a band I have a lineup that is returning all the time, but it's more like a solo. I call it a solo project,
Mm.
and so yeah, I the reason why I play a lot of the instruments is first I know I play all these instruments, and it since we're not really a band, I'm just working on my own, and so I thought, well, if I can play it, then I will play it. And then as soon as I find something that, well, this guitar doesn't sound great when I play it, but I know a guy who does that really good.
Hmm.
So then I send it to them.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up guitars because you do have several guitarists on in the other side.
Mhm.
Um, how do you determine who's the right fit for any particular part?
I think that it depends on the style of the song, really. That because they all, on this album there's other than me, we have three guitarists.
Hmm.
So it's my brother, and then there is Niklas and Kalle Schönning, and they all have really different styles, different playing styles. Like my brother, he's a metal guy. He plays a lot of metal rock,
Hmm.
and Niklas is more of a country blues rock person, and Kalle is like the Alan Holdsworth kind of fusion guitarist.
Yeah.
So it's very easy, If I have a fusion part, it's like, yeah, that's perfect for Kalle. Or if I have a really metal place, that's perfect for my brother. Or. And Niklas, he also plays on this new album. He plays a lot of lap steel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, in addition to guitarists, you also sing, but you have a couple of other lead vocalists on this, Jonas Sundqvist and Jenny
Mm.
Storm. Again, same question. Like, obviously, with a female vocalist, it seems like it would be more obvious which parts would go to her, but I don't feel like the two Jonases, are sort of really out of each other's range. So I wondered how you decided who sang what.
Yeah, it, that I always see the Jonas Sundqvist as the lead singer because he sang on the first albums all the way. And there's yeah, as you said, it's quite obvious that this is a Jenny part because it's really it's written for a female vocal. But it's more like I assume that Jonas is gonna sing everything, and then once I find, because I sing the demos, and once I think that, well, this sounded quite good with me on it, then maybe I can sing that one.
Okay, so it comes down to how it sounds on the demo.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the things that and when I'm asked, and I've been asked when I put out in the world, hey, you got to check out this band. They're really good. You like Spock's Beard, you like Flower Kings, you're gonna like these guys. Oh, what do they sound like? And I always sort of say they sound like if Spock's Beard and Kaipa joined forces and became one band. That's what it kind of reminds me of. You do you have Kaipa influence in your songs, or is that just coming out in a way that
No,
that I hear?
I haven't listened much to Kaipa, but I know that they have a lot of folk music in their music.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that has to do with my own folk music background because I grew up playing folk music and listening to folk music. I even, when I was very small, I even slept in the upright bass case backstage when they were playing. So I think that it has to do with that, the folk music. I don't know the guys in Kaipa, so
Yeah.
I don't know if they also have a folk music background but it probably.
Yeah, yeah, and I think so. And also, of course, the obvious comparison is Swedish band with male and female vocals.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. Tell me about your songwriting process. How does this song start for Jonas Lindberg?
We start with mostly with either I'm out walking and something pops into my head and I just need to sing it. I always have my voice memo on my phone very close,
Hmm.
like most songwriters, and or if I just like on this album, I'm working as a guitar teacher too, so I always have a guitar. When I'm teaching, I have the guitar there, and once a student doesn't show up or I have a break or anything, it's just I start playing something, and as soon as something pops up, it's like, yeah, that sounded cool, record it, and then I have 1,000 ideas that I can start with when I go to the studio, and then when I'm in it's kind of grows in my head, like I might have 3 or 4 ideas, and these might fit together. What if I do like this, and then I record that and start, adding instruments and building stuff around it.
Hmm. Time frames. Tell me a little bit about the process of putting this together. How long did it take to make this new album? It's been a couple of years since your last album. 2022, I think, is when Miles from Nowhere came out. Um, that is that part of the title of time frames is that gap between albums?
No, I think the gap has to do more with because I'm doing everything myself, from writing songs to demoing to recording mostly everything, and mixing and the cover art, and all of that. So and if one guy is doing everything, it takes time.
Yeah, it does.
Especially if it's not your only thing that you're doing.
Hmm.
So because and then we also have a kid, since the last album. So that also means that I can't work all the time.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there can be a few weeks between sessions, or so that's. But the time frames is more I refer to, since it is how it is with everything. I had to make mini deadlines all the time. So like for example, I recorded the bass. I got the drums from Jonathan. I started recording the bass, and I knew that I have to be finished with the bass before Christmas, because then there will be a month before I can do anything else. uh, and then I will have forgotten any ideas that I had. So I need to be finished, And I had that was all the way, even up until the mastering process.
Okay. What was the first song you wrote for this album?
It was well, the oldest one is Galactic Velvet, because I wrote the music for that one back in college.
Oh, really?
Really, I think it was 2001 or something, and then it's sort of evolved over time. But I think the first demo was in 2005, and then I didn't really think of it really up until now. Then I had, I did the Summer Queen on the last album, which is a really old, from the same time period,
Mm.
and I felt like that turned out really well. What if I do that with more songs? So I tried it with Galactic Velvet, and finished it.
So you seem like a guy who hangs on to everything. You don't ever get do you just keep everything and just at some point you just revisit it and go, "Wait, that sounds pretty good. I think I can do something with that."
Yeah, I never throw anything away, um, but then I might forget that it's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have, like, I've started to be a bit more organized, and I have my ideas in a certain place, so I know that. Oh yeah, I that one. Yeah, I didn't remember that one. Let's see what that sounds like.
Yeah, that's interesting. I know that's everybody's different, but I know I've interviewed people who they don't keep anything because they feel like if they didn't use it, there was a reason. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't fully formed. They didn't,
Mhm.
so they turn the page and start over. So I love getting these stories from you guys because everybody has their own way of doing it, and so that's
I,
interesting. That
I saw an interview with Neil Morse about that, and and that really helped me out, because when I wrote lyrics for this album, I didn't know what to write about, and I started throwing away ideas just because I thought they were bad. And then he said in an interview, like, you shouldn't throw away things just because you think it's bad, because it's the first idea. It might be better than you think. Keep it, and it will find its place, or something like that.
yeah.
So then I just started writing whatever came to mind, and that really freed up the process.
How much did becoming a dad um, affect your approach to lyric writing?
Well, it affected some of the lyrics because I wrote them when I was on parental leave. So, and as I said, I didn't know what to write about, so I started to look for things, and it was like, oh, she's crawling around on the floor, and that could be something. So I started, like, there's one song, Someone Like Me,
Hmm.
which is the second song, which is really about her reflection in the mirror.
Yeah. That's the song kind of I had in mind why I asked that question. So I'm
Mm.
glad that there was a connection there. It's
Mm.
just knowing being a dad myself, I know it does change your whole perspective on things, and it can affect the way you think about the world. So that's
Mm.
having become a dad during this, making of this album had to
Mm.
have had some kind of effect on you. So I figured I would ask you to see what that was.
Yeah, but it's that mostly lyric wise,
Yeah.
and also like the title of the album is referring to that too. Like, I have to be done with this before this happens, or and oh, she's sick now. I need to stay home, and yeah, then I can finish this thing instead.
Yeah.
It's a constant puzzle.
Yeah. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
The band the other side, how do you know these individuals? Are these people that you've known your whole life, or they just come into your life recently, or is it a combination of both?
Well, the band members are mostly old friends. Like Jonas and I have known each other since now over 20 years. So we studied together. Me, Jonas, and Niklas studied together, and uh, I knew Jonathan from that kind of period as well. We didn't study together, but he studied at the same school earlier. And then through all of them, I started to meet these other people like Kalle. Uh, so so yeah, it's people that I have around me. Like, we're a big, since I'm freelance musician, you start playing with all of these different people, and and in this project, I chose people that I like to work with.
Hmm. And obviously, your brother, you've known him a while.
Yeah, I've known him since he was like this small.
You go way back.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part of this album for you? Was there a song or a particular section of a song that you just kept getting stuck on and coming back to, or did everything flow together pretty easily?
Both, like, most of it flowed easily. As I said, the lyrics were hard,
Mm,
as I just, if you're on parental leave, you're really tired, and your
yes.
brain doesn't really work in that way. So when I started to write lyrics, it was like I don't have no idea about anything. So that was a bit tough. But the way that happened was that I because I'm sharing this studio with other people, so I had booked the studio to record demo vocals, and I didn't know how to. I had nothing, no lyrics. So I said to myself that maybe if I just go there, something will, I can sing something, and I can change the lyrics afterwards. So I just wrote down, like, for example, Faces of Stone, the first single. That's the lyric that I wrote down right before I demoed it,
Mm,
and it actually works. But it was really, like, off the top of my head was, something, and oh, that sounds, that looks cool.
yeah. Um,
And and so that was the hardest part, I think. And also, I think the song Running Out of Time was something that I struggled with, the tempo. It's very hard tempo to play for some reason.
mm. How much do the members of the other side influence things when you're recording them? Do they come in with ideas and say, what if we move this part to another section? Do they have that kind of input, or are you just making all the composing decisions?
Well, in the demo process, I make all the decisions, but then when I've made a demo, my brother is really good at he always wants me to send him stuff so he can listen to it, and he always comes back with ideas. For example, the epic on this one, The Wind, was much longer, and when I sent it to him, it was like, no, I think this whole section in the end here is completely unnecessary. What if you remove that and extend this part instead, you know? And I was like, yeah, well, why not? Let's try. And so that really helps. And also, both Jenny and Jonas are really good in the when we record vocals to really watch the lyrics and say like, well, I want to change this word, or this phrase feels weird. Can we rethink that? Or this melody, I can't really jump like this, or whatever, you know.
Mm, yeah.
So we can shape it as we go.
Yeah. And I'm sure when you're recording your vocals, you go through that just on your own. You're like, oh, that word doesn't flow real well into the next. Maybe I find another way to say that.
Mm. Yeah, but that might not also not be the same thing that Jonas or Jenny would want.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
might
that's
be
true.
that I've already changed it twice, and then they go, well, now I like this better, you know. That could happen.
What's the best uh or at least the most important to the final album bit of feedback that you got from the band, do you think?
Like in the process, or after the process, or
Just make like
anything.
in the recording process, so they gave you feedback that you considered their idea and you went, yeah, that works much better.
I have to think back what really happened.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've
Yeah,
recorded this.
it's a year ago I finished, I think. Um, but I think I would say the lyrics, or like with the vocals, really having them having the input, and also like just I asked, because I had already recorded so much of it when the guitarist came in.
Hmm.
So I just asked them like, is there anything that you think would should be here, and we can try that, you know.
Hmm.
And for example, on the new single, the instrumental Gruvan, which is out now, Niklas came up with he just went with it when we recorded, and came up with a weird wah wah guitar pattern that completely turns the beat around, you know.
Yeah.
So all of these little things happen. So I think that's the beauty of having other people involved too. Like they think of things that you would never have come up with, you know.
Yeah. Tell me about the decision to release Groove On as a single. Not many bands would release an 8.5 minute instrumental as a single.
Well, that's I would say that's why it's progressive. I should say. But I don't know, because I was looking for singles, and Faces of Stone was always the obvious choice, you know.
Hmm.
And and then I wanted one more, and there are a couple of songs that would work as a single, and but I was surprised. Again, my brother said, I think you should try and release that one as a single. And I said, why? And it's really catchy, you know. It's a happy song.
Yeah.
And
Is Groove On?
Jonas always asked me, why didn't you write lyrics for this one? It's nice on the, it feels great singing that melody. And I was like, nah, I don't want to have lyrics on that one.
Well, that's progressive rock too. You got to have
Yeah,
an instrumental in there somewhere. Would is Groove On a place? Is it? I'm not familiar with the word.
yeah, Gruvan. It's Swedish. It means the mine,
Okay.
and that's the name of this place where my studio is at. They call it Gruvan, and I just used that title because when I had recently moved in here when I started demoing songs for the album, and I had a bunch of working titles named Gruvan 1, Gruvan 2, Gruvan, you know. So, and this one hasn't got any lyrics. I just went with the working title.
That makes sense. Yeah, sometimes the working title is the best thing that you can call a song. It's
Yeah,
nothing else quite fits.
no,
But I like the
I,
mood of the song. I think it's an interesting song, and I'm
mm,
glad you guys thought enough of this to release it. It would have probably been easy to go with someone like me, for example, as
mm,
a catchy single type song. But
yeah.
I don't feel like someone like me captures the right. Maybe it doesn't capture the mood of the whole album as well as Groove On does.
No, someone like me is to me it's that's the most different song.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, it's got a completely different vibe and a different groove. You know, it works on the album, but it that's like 5 minutes of this thing on the album, and then there's 8 minutes of this thing,
yeah.
and and I think the one the longs epics actually I think capture the whole album within them, but they are too long to release as singles. It doesn't work.
Yeah, that's progressive rock. Is this then when it comes out on vinyl, will this be a double then? It seems like that's how it would
Yeah,
have to work.
yeah.
I know Spock's Beard's new album's coming out soon, and they actually have an epic that they chopped. They put part of it on one side of the record and like 4 minutes, the last 4 minutes on the second side, and
Oh,
I I have to say I don't like it. I
no.
don't like that they split it up that way, but I haven't heard it yet, so I don't know how it works.
Well, it's almost like I Am the Sun.
Yeah, yeah,
That's also starts and finishes the album, but that it's I haven't really heard how that would sound like as a whole
yeah, yeah.
because I'm so used to the two parts.
Yeah. You an album guy then? You play the album start to finish. You don't skip around and make your own playlist out of it.
Yeah, but sometimes I do, but it's it's more fun to me to listen to the whole because I think there's a reason why songs are in a certain order,
Yeah.
and it's fun to make a playlist of your favorite songs too. But like it's I don't really like to take them out of context
Yeah.
like that.
Speaking of making your own playlist, if it's your album, you get to make the playlist however you want it. So how do you decide what the track order will be on your records?
Yeah, that's well. I don't remember how I did it on this one. I think I tried several different orders. It was like, should I start with this one or end with this one or the other way around? But I knew that I want the epics to be like framing the album, start and finish. And I didn't really. I juggled around with which one should go where. Uh, but it's funny that the way it ended is almost like in alphabetical order. I know the mastering guy, he just loaded it in. I said, "Oh yeah, that's a correct order. Just move someone like me up to the second, you know." And he was like, "Oh yeah, well, sometimes it works." And but with Miles from Nowhere, I worked on that one so long that I couldn't listen to it to start from start to finish without falling asleep myself. So the song order that won was the one where I stayed awake. I was like, oh, that's interesting enough. Yeah, let's go.
That's one way to do it, Jonas.
Yeah, it's different every time.
Do you have a favorite song on this album? One that really, you're just really proud of that you think you stuck the landing on that one.
Mhm. Yeah, there are many, um, but I think End of the Road is one that I think turned out really good. That I think it's fun to play. It's fun to listen to. and also Galactic Velvet because it's been around for so long and it's nice to just hear it completed.
Yeah. Like, oh, I finally finished that one that I started back in 2001.
Yeah, and now it's got lyrics, it's mastered, it's there, you know.
You won't have to worry about that one anymore. It's in the can.
Oh. Or maybe I'll turn into one of these people that records their stuff all the time, makes new versions out of everything.
Yeah. Why not? Remix.
Yeah,
Um, as a solo project, is are these musicians available to go out and play live with you? Do you play live?
it actually we did back in the early days play a couple of shows, but that's the last one was over 10 years ago. So, and there are many reasons for why we haven't played live. Mostly it's because I don't, you know, since I'm also a freelance guy, I have been busy touring with other stuff. So I've never had the time to actually put that together. And but really feel like now is the time to do it, you know,
Hmm.
to do something about it. And I hope so. I haven't asked everybody, but I know Jonathan is, you know, the drummer. He's really into. We should play live, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna look into that and see how we can make that work.
Yeah. So I think there's always something fulfilling about going out and performing the new material live and trying to turn your audiences onto the new record. But yeah,
Yeah.
obviously you have to do it in a way that makes sense. It's not easy to make a living as a musician, obviously.
No, and also for us, it's like we're half the band is are freelance musicians and really busy guys, you know, and half the band have regular day jobs and lives in another city. Like my brother lives in northern part of Sweden, and Jonas, who is singing, he lives like in the middle, and Jenny is she's the headmaster of a school, so she doesn't really have time to
Oh wow.
for a lot of things. So it's gonna be a puzzle to make it work, but I think like if the stars align, it will happen, you know.
Yeah. Be great to get you guys on like Cruise to the Edge or something, a big
Yeah.
festival where a lot of progressive rock fans who are already into that type of music can be
Mm.
exposed to what you do and hear you play it live and then go to the merch table and buy your album.
Yeah, that would be awesome to play the cruise. That would be a sort of a dream come true, you know.
Yeah. Well, I hope it happens for you. This
Mm.
this is being released November 7th on Mode Music. I'm not familiar. Is that a self-release title?
Yeah, that's my own label where I've released all my earlier stuff. Um, yeah.
Okay. When somebody listens to your album, they take time frames, they buy it, they put it in, listen to it start to finish. What
Mm.
do you hope they get from that experience? What do you want the listener to take away from that?
Oh, I want them to take away, you know, a great experience is what I hope they will have. Um, and it's always, you know, like you're always trying to evoke some kind of a feeling into somebody, you know, whatever that feeling might be. And I think this one, I hope they're really gonna be, you know, feel great when they listen to it.
Well, I think that that's a great goal, and I think that that's going to happen for a lot of your listeners. I've really been enjoying this.
Mm.
The band is called Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side. The album's called Time Frames. Comes out November 7th on Mode Music. You can get it digitally and on CD November 7th. A vinyl version is planned for a future release. Where's the best place for people to go and buy this and to find out more about you?
Well, they can always go to my website, lindbergmusic.com. Uh, that's I have everything there in my web shop, and all the info is there, and anything, any news will happen there, or if they follow our Facebook page or YouTube channel, or so. And I'm also currently, you know, in contact with a lot of retailers mostly in Europe at this point.
Mhm.
Um, so I know that Just for Kicks music in Germany, they will have a bunch of CDs available, and I'm trying to get it out to a few other places as well.
Great. Well, Jonas, I've enjoyed learning a little bit about time frames and a little bit about your history, and I appreciate your time. I hope this sales go really well for you. I've been enjoying it. I think it's a really nice album. I think it may be the best thing that you've done so far, at least that's available
Oh,
on the streaming sites that I've been exposed to. So, thank you so much for
thank
telling
you.
me about it, and again, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you. Happy to be here.